Is YouTube stopping my ability to chat? Like it is. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. I'm going to need to refill my coffee real quick, so I'll be back in a quick sec. Hope everyone's having a great, very early 4th of July morning. It's about 12:35, I think it is, a.m. right here. Oh, no, 1:04. I was off that. 1:04 a.m. July 4th, 2021. And we're not quite burning yet, but so what can you say? The night's early. Okay. So earlier I got this thing all assembled and set aside and pretty much ready to put back together, barring the parts I was waiting for from FedEx to deliver, which sadly they didn't deliver. They missed yesterday and today. Ordered them early Wednesday morning, paid for the 2-day shipping, which should have been Friday. And they didn't deliver them yesterday or today. So I'm going to be hitting FedEx up for a refund, but I got to get a hold of the store I bought from because I'm going to return this Vanquish sway bar set for the Yeti Junior. I want to pick that up for to try it on the Reef, or I'm sorry, the Ryft. And these sway bars are just too short. They're not long enough. They need to be another 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch to do really well on the Ryft. It would have needed a new bar. That much I knew. I was going to need the new piece of spring steel. But I was hoping, actually, I didn't think, but I was hoping these were going to be long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and return this and go ahead and pick up a probably get the Trio unit. I've got some other Trio stuff, and it's pretty good equipment. So then the other thing I grabbed was the Hobby Wing Max 8 in the 2200. I'm gonna return that and go with a censored system. My options are Tekin with the Tekin motor or the Holmes, Castle with the Castle motor, Tekin motor, or the Holmes motor, or a Hobby Wing system. I don't mind the Hobby Wing. It's a little bit cheaper, but that system's not any cheaper than going the other way. So I'm either going to go with the Tekin R4, RX4 in the Rock motor, 2300 kV, or I might go with the Castle. I can probably go with the Monster X. Don't need it 1 to 6S or 2 to 6S, but if I ever wanted to put it in something else, then I got it. I probably will. So I'll probably just go with the Mamba X and either the Holmes motor or the Castle system. It's the 11512. Don't quite remember. On top of that, I can also turn around and one of my local guys has a rig that he posted up for sale today. And I may get a hold of him tomorrow and snag it. He's only asking $200, and it has the Max 8 and 2200 system in it. That's only a month and a half, 2 months old. So for that cost, I may buy that rig, sell the rest of the rig because I wouldn't want it. Just keep the motor and ESC out of it, unless the steering servo in it's really good. I may go grab a couple of bones out of the bank tomorrow and hit him up, and if it's available, nab it. I may just nab it, because I could sell the rest of the rig that's there with the castle setup I got and get $300 out of it. So actually, yeah, if I put it in the cabinet, I can get $200 out of the system it's set up, the rig it's set up. I can get 2 bones out of it without any problem as a roller, especially if it's got a steering servo in it. If it's got a good one, then I'll just swap it out with the 25 kg that was in this thing when I got it. So I'm gonna move that out of the way. Just give me some room to work. So there's a couple things I looked at here when setting this thing up earlier. How this servo is gonna fit and work. It's made to go in there like so, and then of course that goes there and it does its shift thing. But that's got the micro horn on it, and this pack I had doesn't have the micro horn hook. This is a Traxxas system, and it's got 2 adapters, but they're both full size, not a micro horn. I ordered a Ryft micro horn, and then an Axial, I don't remember, AXI 10010 or 10109 or something like that. I don't know. It's a little 2-speed or servo adapters with a couple of the slider pieces, but I'm afraid it's going to be for a standard size servo horn too. So what I did do is go ahead and order just the Reefs aluminum horn, so I could use that, because that's probably what I'm going to end up having to do. Or I'll just modify this little bad boy right here, right now, and put it into use. That's the machine thread. Okay. Get this up real quick. That's just a card on the bottom. Ow. Man, my back is just waxed. So let's see. So one option, if you can't use the setup, because I see other people have race sims, so I'm not exactly sure. The one guy said this adapter kit would fit the race servo, so we'll see. Hope it does. So, but one option I've come up with, let me move this down a little bit easier for everybody to see here too. Especially during this stuff, because it is kind of a distance away and a little small. So as we're looking at this here, you can see that, okay, the micro is setting where it needs to be. I'm just going to hold it there. And this is where the horn sets. And as you can see, there's that gap in there. You know, you need a gap above there. The stock horn doesn't come up that high because the other servo has a taller hub and it pushes this gear out taller out of the top. The stock servo 109 Spectrum 109 servos. It looks like the, what is it, Hobby Pro, I think it is, making the TR4 servo. I think they both have a full-size 25-tooth spline, but they have a cap up here that pushes that up higher, so the servo horn sets higher off the servo. Of course, the Reefs is pretty much kind of a low profile as far as the servo horn sets, so it doesn't come up high enough to allow all this undercarriage mechanism down here, the shifter linkage and everything, to set below the servo horn and above the servo itself. And that's one of the kinks. There's two ways to fix that. If you can find the adapter that fits on the micro servo shaft and raise it up and either adapts it over to a normal servo size so these other adapters will work, then that's one way to go. Another option is the servo mount is thick, very thick, as you can see. I'll try to get a little bit better light. So this mount here, do it this way. This mount here is real thick, as you can see. Lots of beef there. And they did that because it's got to have, you know, that servo's got to set really solid. It can't really move around to handle the shifting deal. But because there's not enough room for the, as you're looking at it, you can see if you look at the, try to spin this around out of the way a little bit. If you look at the alignment from the top, grab this, make it a little bit easier. From the top of the piece, you know, that's a ways off from the bottom because it needs to hook, you know, to either the top of this, which as you can see, it's, you know, let me see here, it's quite a ways, you know, low. Get it right there. It's, you know, 1/8 of an inch too low to do that, to go on top of it, and there's not enough room obviously on top of it to, you know, that to fit between the horn and the case. So the other option is put the micro horn on and then screw straight down through the shift mechanism right into the micro horn. But again, it's setting too low now because that micro horn is going to set up just about the top of the micro horn. Will be close to the top of that, but not enough. So there's only really one other option if you can't get the adapter for the horn, and that would be to trim your mounts off about much, you know, 1/16 of an inch. Pretty much, if you trimmed your mounts, as I looked at it earlier, the width of the servo mount itself here, that width right here, let's see if we can get this to, there we go, it's getting a little better. Come on, focus in here, camera. So if you were to thin out that mount, that width, maybe just, you know, that width, you know, add that onto it and took that, what, 2 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters out of your mount area, so your micro servo, your Reefs, would set just a little lower, as I is seen here, almost right on the deck, pretty close. It would set up a little bit off the deck. That's why you don't want to trim it down too much, but just about that much. Now when you look at the horn top, it'll come off. It has to go a little bit lower. But now when the horn comes off, it's going to be just high enough to set underneath this shifting mechanism, and then you'll be able to just screw straight through the shifting mechanism. It would eliminate this slide piece. That's the one thing, because you're connecting to the bottom and not the top. I haven't looked at it to see if there is maybe a way I can adapt that to the bottom, but I don't think there's going to be. Not without going way deep, and this can't go that deep. That's just, it's setting on the deck down here now, so that's as low as it can set there. It's a little better. It's night here, and I'm not getting as good as light as I should have. Let me do this. Now that I moved the light down, or the camera down, the light won't be in the way. Probably a little bit better idea. A little more light here. So yeah, right there the servo's sitting on the deck. So you don't want it down that flow, because you don't want the servo getting smacked on the bottom every time you bottom out. So it's going to have to be a little taller than that, at least, you know, say that's on the deck. So you just, even if you trimmed it at the top of this, then that's got to raise up that little bit to get up there. And that would be just about right. So that's the other option. I think that's what I might end up doing, because when I get the mini horn, if I'd had it today, we'd be doing that probably right now. Because I don't think those adapters, it might have a 25 tooth micro horn adapter in there. If it does, then we're okay. Then micro horn, you know, mount that normally micro horn adapter, servo saver, good to go. Shift's done. It did pop out. But otherwise, I'm going to have to trim this down a little bit, take it just a little bit lower, and then mount the servo so it's dropped down, micro horn, Reefs micro horn coming off it, and then, you know, your shift adapter screwed right to the micro horn. And that's the only other possible way of doing it. So for now, I'm going to just install it. Jesus. No, I'm going to lock it out. No use installing it, because it's just going to be in the way. Really kind of a silly idea to install until I got a horn to put on there. But what I do have to do is lock up this horn. I'm going to lock it out in first gear. We'll see what the system can do, and locked out just so it's all in first gear and good to go. And well, I do have that plastic horn here though. What can I do with that? I don't think that plastic horn's going to last long. I've seen Joe there was able to take his and put it in and actually bend it. Put a little heat on the horn, bent it up and bent it over, so he could hook it to the top of this thing. Because as you can see, that little horn, and that's how the micro horn will set. Of course, the micro horn will be more strong. Tip it up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Slide her all the way in this sector first here. There we go. So you can see it's, you know, hitting right almost on top of the shifter. So it's got to be bent just a little bit up. And then this piece will just be hooked right to it. So yeah, we'll do it that way for now. So let me see. That at least allow me to hold it in gear with the servo, if not being able to actually, that was the right one, actually be able to use the shifter with that cheapy plastic horn until the actual thing comes in. There are a couple other horns here. That one actually does look a little bit thicker. That one's the same. I guess it's just thicker in the back side, but maybe I'll try that one. Because I think that one would actually be a little bit stronger. So go ahead and move this here. Pick this up. It is a little thicker even out there. If I have to trim it off, okay, no biggie. Okay, so no stops like the other ones. So this might work. Let's see, I think I got some other coarse thread screws. I also got some 2.5 millimeters that aren't coarse thread, I don't think. Now, they might be somewhat coarse thread. Now I've got these little suckers. Okay. Oops. Those potentials. Let's see what else I've got in. I do have a few other. Maybe not. That's the one. I got a few of those small ones there. two of those in there. Maybe there is only one. Okay, let me see how these fit in. Those are small holes, so I think they'll be fine. I'll just give them a little starter help with these, because I'd rather use a small cap head. That way I don't have to worry about it. Just give them a little opening at the top. Just a little easier to get those screws in there. That's going there real well. Nice and snug. It's too big for it. And let's see which one we got here. That one's bigger all the way around. Okay. There. That there. Drop on my foot. Okay. Now, doesn't have to come up much, does have to come up some. In the worst case scenario, I can set it up and force it to stay into first gear. Even if it's just to get me through a few days. Okay. The other way. That in channel 3. Gotta do the steering servo. And set this up here. So back then with it. There. Wait for a few. Here. Five in there. We'll get that side. That's right. I got the adapter on there. Kick up my radio. Move over to the Ryft. So let me check off EPAs. I gotta get there. ABS. Sub-trim. Enter. Channel 3 is at 0. Okay. Great. Don't need a mix. Aux channels. What I do is send the virtual, but I don't want it on the virtual. I want the aux channel on the SWA, I think. So that's actually on channel 4, so I'll just plug that in channel 4 instead of changing it here. So take this auto channel 3, move it into channel 4. Because if I go with the Castle system, which I'm heavily leaning to the more I think about, because I like the idea of being able to variable between rock racer settings and rock crawler, then set up a mix, then you turn around and rock racer, and man, I guess it would almost be better to have it set up as separate. I know some people set up about a mix where they can push the button, it would go to rock racer mode and do the shift. But you may want, you know, first speed in rock racer mode or second speed in crawler mode occasionally. So leave that where you can just variable speed into it with the one, you know, use the variable to go between one and the other. Unless you can use the buttons on this. If I can program this like the 4 p.m. allegedly works, and you know, use a button to shift between that way, and then because I got 2 buttons on the handle, then I can leave my variable control for something different like a winch. just for shifting vehicles, you know. So let's see. We are there, we're plugged on. Okay, that is good. Okay, the momentary. I guess that wouldn't be bad. What? We'll go down the aux, channel 4, channel 5, SWB. If I went to 5, then I've got it here, which I've got, yeah. Then I got 4 neutral. I just have to be careful. If I could set that up, I think if I did channel 5 is B, and C, B. There we go. So that can be second, neutral, first. So I want it neutral. And now I want to slide my little horn on. So it's kind of lined up, yeah. Then I can set endpoints too. Yeah, I'm thinking I might redo that motor mount too, because that sounds too tight. Too tight. Okay. It's neutral. Okay, look at something here. See if I can fab something together. Didn't think that would work on that side. Slide you back together. Back in the baggage. You can't use you. Something that's going to have to sell. Bought these off eBay. There is the horn. I think that's actually got a longer throw on it. Yes, it does. Okay, back to that one. Okay. Put this puppy off. Let's go. Cool. Eating bending here. Let's see if that can work. That might be all right. Give it a good bend. The question is, if I do it shorter, a little bit, can't turn. Yeah, a little bit shorter. God. question is, will it or not? Too small. They've already opened it up. So now we're adjusting his set up here. Make sure we're okay. There she be. Okay. Let's see how that works. We'll take this little assembly for now. All my other pieces parts come in. Put it with the rest of the servo saver stuff. 2-speed. Now, let's try. Let's go into two, trim, enter, channel 5, and channel 5. So, EPAs. Now, set my first DPA, and I'll go ahead and spin this around a bit. So you see, so right now it's a neutral. So I want to set my EPA for my forward side. I'll make sure it's not too much. So I'm going to enter in the first side and decline it. Take it out and make sure it's until it starts moving. It's at 0 already. I didn't move it off. So I'm going to go back to 0 and I'll flip to the other side. And I think that's where we're going to be at. Oh, no, it's not channel 3. It's channel 5. Okay, that's right. So let me go reset this. I gotta move to channel 5 to get on there. And you get over percentages. Okay, incline 4, 5. Now, enter. So I think it's going to be second. Is what's going to drop first. Not yet. Okay. Yep, there we go. Oh, okay. So yeah, she's hot. Real hot. Wow. Why is she so warm? I think it's like smoking out. It shouldn't be. And both sides of this down to 0. Obviously sitting there just screaming going too far. So now, just to double check everything. Actually, any movie now. Stuck in neutral, no movement. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unplug her and let her cool down. Should have done that first. Whenever you're setting up something like this that has limited travel, before you power up, turn your EPAs on whatever that servo is all the way down to nothing. This thing's been at 100% travel, and when I've been flipping it, it's trying to push farther, so it's been, you know, just grinding to do that. When you're first setting up, you want to turn your travel ability, get your trim set, and turn your travel ability down to 0. To set your trim, turn it down, turn your travels down to like 25%, because you only need to move just a little bit. You could probably even do 10% of travel, EPA, and then set your center, get your center set up. Right now I'm set in neutral. I can tell because no on the motor. Yeah, that servo's, it's actually already cooling down, but I'm going to go ahead and power it down, let everything cool off on that, and then throw her back in. So I'm just going to take a break here. I'll set this aside. Yeah, I don't know what's going on because I'm not getting any chat. I'm not monetized by YouTube. Got no monetization going on. Not getting paid to do anything. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with these jerks. But jerks they are. Actually, jerks is putting it nice. They're flipping communists. Fascist. Fascio-commie haters. America haters. Fascio-commie world, you know, NWO people. America's the problem with the world. You know, the only people that had a problem with the concept of America were the royals in Britain. And that hasn't changed today. And it's right in the language they all say. They call the War of Independence the Revolutionary, because to Britain it was to the king it was a revolution against him. To us, it was a war for our independence and a fulfillment of the Magna Carta, which the king and many before that king, King George, decided to deny. Yes, like my shirt. Way to go, shithead. And these little penis gobblers that are in YouTube and Google and Facebook, these fascio commies, whether they know it or not, I think most of them do. How could you not? But then I never thought people could be that stupid, but then here they are. That thing cooled down a little bit. Oh yeah, it's way cooler now already. Still warm, but way cooler. It was just screaming hot. Whoops. Button. Touch the button. And actually, I am letting that cool the rest of the way. This would probably be a good time. I'll slip this back. Oh, I can't because I got the servo there. That's right. Good time to redo that motor mount too, because that's just too tight. I'm gonna have to look at the manual to see what holes, because they're actually not labeled on the motor plate which holes are which. I have the manual. It's the nets. That's the sway bar adapters manual. And through. Yeah, I didn't get an owner's manual, so I had to download the piece here. 17. Okay, there we go. It's in the second hole. That's why. And I've got her in the thoid. So go ahead and pop this off. Yeah. got her in the third, and that's most certainly the problem. Yeah, mix those up too, I guess. Come on, get in there, you little sucker. Really? What a pain in the butt. Okay, now. Right, that's back in there. Yeah, put a little pen back, but no beat. Okay. Way in the wrong holes. Way in the wrong hole. According to this, and with the 17 tooth is in the second upmost holes. Right there. On the bottom. And then this one to the top. I should have checked that earlier. Because when I put it together, I'm like, something isn't right. That's better. Okay. Okay. Okay, now that's better. Orange plate, I don't necessarily need that. Okay. Put that back in place. Because from here, I can still, yeah, probably take that out to actually get into it, but that's okay. That sounds a lot better. Okay. Radio. Why am I all of a sudden getting a blinky? Oh, that's why. Plugs come out. You go there. 2, 3, 4, 5. You go there. That will help. Now, neutral. Now, EPA. It's going to be that one. No. so hot. Alright, so what I got going on here is the shifting in the second and the neutral just fine. But it's not quite getting into and out of first properly. It's fine if I go from first to second and then back to neutral. Neutral to first, when I go neutral to deal, it's got to pull back. So that is binding on that front side a little bit. Okay, I may pull it back apart and play with it. But I'm going to shut it off. Servo's pretty warm. It's not super hot, but it is, you know, getting there. And stop there. And I'll just go ahead and throw it back there because I can run it as she is right there. And at least get some playtime. Alright, so let's go ahead and work on tossing this sucker back together. My thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the PDF because I don't need that. Yeah, no chat still, so I'm not sure what the hell's going on with that. Maybe they don't like what I say. So I'm a pretty vocal asshole. Now, so that's the rear. Before we go further, I want to go ahead and put on some zipper strips. Those are fairly big. Let me grab those other labeled ones. Where did I put them? Trim up some of those. Wherever it was, I got them put here. There they are. Okay. That side like it was. And this one here. Okay. Deal with that. That up out the way. You out the way. And put that. Yeah. Cool. This one first. Oh my damn back. Okay. Yeah, I'll put it in the middle. Good enough for it. Why are these all? These in there? Okay. Bag out. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be an issue, it looks like. The micro servo is kind of long. And that's going to make it a little bit of a bear to get that underneath there. So that's going to have to be trimmed down a bit. It may go in there before the servo is put in place, possibly. It does have a recess down there that I might be able to get into. Might. See what I can do here. Back up here. Just damn it. Get crappy ass screws. It comes out, it's gonna have to be replaced. On that's screwing this thing. Okay. I'm getting tired. I'm forgetting stuff. Time to call it a night. Because I gotta pop that tight off. Put this shit in there, get the lid on. So I'm pretty well waxed for the evening. We'll call her good for now. She's almost ready. Of course, this thing will come up a hill. Slipper through here. Go in there and go up out the way. And then, of course, she'll come probably down this side, up and in. And I'm probably going to end up having to redo that shift mechanism a bit and try to work that out and make it work smoother on the first position side. Second seems to be fine, nice and smooth, but it's tight going in the first, so we're going to have to get that figured out. Pull it back out. But I think tomorrow I'm just going to get her back ready. And I'll dick with that shit Tuesday when I get the, tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday when I get the parts. Alright. Throw that there. Alright, man. I'm out for the night. Everybody have a good one. Later.